after seeing how people have rightfully vilified these Karens, to step into that role is a pretty bold move on your part to say, all right, I know people hate Karen, that the name is just associated with bad acts, but you're taking on this role.
Yes, I'm taking on this role. I love the material. First and foremost, it's about the writing, and then I adore Coke, and I think that he really cares and he's ready for change. It felt like a social responsibility. I mean, even though I'm playing the opposing side, if I have to, sort of play the villain and do all that to help make change on the globe, I was more than willing to step into the role. If you don't like me in the role, perfect. I did my job just great. So, but the main point is that what's been going on is just devastating, and it's time for change. And for me to be a part of that bigger picture meant a lot to me.
Coke, I'm curious. I'm just fascinated by this movie. I'm curious, are you going to go below the surface there and try to understand the psychology that drives people to become that?
Absolutely. And I mean, that's a big part of filmmaking and screenwriting in general, is you want to answer as many of the whys as possible. So, and not justifying her behavior by any standpoint, but getting into the minutia of this type of behavior, how these microaggressions turn into racism and violence.
So, Taryn, do you do character studying, I guess? Do you find yourself on YouTube looking at all these videos, or you can just go on TMZ and see them all, and do you try to pick something from that?
Yeah, I've seen a lot, and of course I've been watching more, because now I'm wanting to find all different levels of them and different types. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot of studying going on, but I mean, it's so bad and so everywhere. That's the point of this film, and why it's so timely and why I'm so excited.
Hey guys, it's your girl Dee Dee, and welcome back to the channel. So, as you guys see by the title, there is a movie that BET is getting ready to release, and it is called Karen. And we all know what Karen is. Karen has become very, very popular these days. And so now BET is using it in a movie. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about them creating a movie based or centered around the term Karen? Now, we all know that this whole Karen situation has been going on for quite some time. This is not a new occurrence. There have been many Karens over the years, and now the only difference is that they're being filmed and they're being brought to the light. But this is not a new occurrence. Racism is not a new occurrence. It's something that's been happening for years. And now people are being called out and people are being filmed and their actions are being brought to the light. So what do y'all think about them actually putting this into a film? If I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to be a horror thriller. So a lot of people are kind of comparing it to Us and Get Out, Jordan Peele's movies. Why would you create a movie called Karen? I feel like if they did this movie, but they did it with a different name, I don't think it would be receiving such backlash. I think the simple fact that they're deciding to call it Karen is what got people all up in arms about it, because they're like, you couldn't come up with something else, or out of all of the movies that you could make, you decide to do a Karen movie, something that's been happening, something that's been going on for years and years and years. Now you decide to do a movie on it and call it Karen, and a horror thriller at that. So I don't know. A lot of people aren't liking this idea. Now, of course, the premise of the film plays heavily on its title character and how the name Karen is sometimes used as a pejorative term to describe entitled white women. Basically, exactly the term used that was recently created to call out entitled white women, entitled racist white women. Let's not forget that. So that term hasn't been out that long, but it's definitely been created to call out entitled white people. So, and it could be white women or white men, either one. But now to take that and turn it into a movie, I don't know how this looks, how this plays out. I don't know. Now, if the movie does well, then I guess it'll work out. But I think a lot of people are just not here for the idea that you actually turn something that's so sensitive into a movie. You know what I'm saying? Something that's so real and something that's been happening for years and something that's so sensitive and actively happening as we speak today into a movie kind of and then turn it into a horror film. I don't know. It just I don't know. It just seems a little weird to me. Now, a lot of people had things to say about this. A lot of people are not feeling it. A lot of people are like, wow, y'all could have did something else. A lot of people feel like Hollywood is running out of ideas. Like they don't know what else to talk about. So they're creating films on things that are happening now because they've run out of ideas, and they're using this to their advantage. So one person on Twitter basically said, this looks terrible, by the way. They said Hollywood is doomed. Somebody else said, seeing Jordan Peele's name mentioned in any context with the Karen movie seems like slander. That's what somebody else had to say about this. So a lot of people are not feeling this. They feel like they're just not feeling it. And this is not good news because the film is not even out yet. So this is just a trailer of the movie. Somebody said, Ben Shapiro said, we found it, the worst trailer in the history of film. Wow. However, not everyone was critical of the film. Somebody said, I low-key want to see this movie. While somebody else says, I hope this turns into a 12-movie series. Karen in space, Karen goes to hell, Karen in Manhattan, Karen H2O. I thought that was funny. So people are just thinking it's a joke. They're not really feeling it. They're not really giving too many positive thoughts on the movie because I think they feel like it's a joke. They feel like it's a joke that is turning into a mockery. The fact that you create a movie centered around the term Karen, it does kind of seem like a mockery in a way because Karen is not a likely character. It's not a likely term that is just used on a senseless basis. It's used on something that's more cynical and more serious that happens daily. Every time you turn on the news or turn on the TV or turn on your computer, there's another Karen incident. I just watched one before I started doing this video. And so it's an epidemic. It's an issue that has a long-standing history of hatred and racism, and to turn it into a horror thriller kind of takes, in my mind, takes the reality of what is really happening, takes away from it. Even though the trailer shows that they're depicting what they consider a Karen in the movie, and if you mix it with a horror effect and as a thriller, it kind of I don't know, it might take away from the realness of what is really going on with Karens in this country. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I probably said too much, but I don't know how I'm feeling this. I don't know if this is something if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing in the sense that we have Black actors working, because I love the actors that are in the movie. I don't know if this is the right movie for them to be in and how this movie is going to, is it going to help or hurt what is happening with Karens and racism and minorities in this country? Is it going to do any good, or is it going to hurt what is happening? So on one hand, if you can put a movie out like this and it actually helps the cause and makes a difference and makes a change, then I'm all for it. But if it's just something just as a money grab and to kind of downplay what is actually happening, I don't know if that's such a good idea. And on top of that, I don't think it's a good idea to name it Karen at the same time. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think about this movie? What do you think of the idea of them naming it Karen? Are you here for it? Are you still going to watch it when it comes out? Do you want to watch it, or are you not even interested in it at all? I want to hear what you have to say. Make sure you guys leave a comment letting me know what you think of all of this, baby. I don't know what else to say. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your comment. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I will talk to you later. Bye.
Karens have been using every meme. They're in pop culture now. They're in all conversations. And now there's actually a movie. There's actually a movie about a Karen called Karen. This is mad. This is mad.
Guess this is a long way from East Point.
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance.
Tell me about your new neighbors.
They're black. Do you mind keeping it down? If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor. You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
Is she nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen, okay, enjoy yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen. I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone. We didn't do anything.
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood? Next thing you know, we have criminals. You take care of him, and I will take care of her.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
She doesn't like black people.
We have a search warrant.
Well, I'm black.
I know, she doesn't like you either.
I want to sell the house.
What'd I do? You can't tell me, huh?
We are living next door to a racist. You went in her house?
You wouldn't want your wife to know our little secret, right?
I was not standard police procedure back there.
What do we have here?
When you got a hammer, everything looks like nails.
You people are very angry.
Shut your mouth, boy.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
You know what? I would actually watch this. It looks kind of funny. Obviously, it's gonna be woke as hell, but it looks funny. I'm gonna check it out. It's probably bad. It looks cheaply made, but it's humorous, man. Some of the stuff is actually the kind of shit you hear. So yeah, man, it's crazy. This world gets weirder and weirder.
Director Coke Daniels has been left thrilled by comparisons of his upcoming film Karen to Jordan Peele's Get Out. The film producer, who also wrote the script for his latest venture, responded to widespread social media conversation surrounding the film. Following the release of Karen's trailer, viewers took to social media to raise questions over the similarities between the movie and Peele's 2017 hit. Many users were quick to brand the film a knockoff, while others blasted it for failing to achieve the subtleties and nuances Get Out does. However, it appears Daniels has taken the comparison as a form of flattery. In an Instagram post, he shared a screenshot of Peele's name trending on Twitter, with the caption, "Trending on Twitter. Keep comparing Karen to Get Out. We'll receive that." Daniels then added a string of emojis, including the rocket and fire icons. The film first gained traction online when viewers began sharing the trailer, which shows the story of a racist white woman set on terrorizing her new black neighbors. As the trailer for Karen went viral, users hit out at Hollywood directors for attempting to steal Jordan Peele's formula. Get Out followed the journey of a black man who embarks on a journey to meet his white girlfriend's family. It quickly becomes apparent to him that his partner's family harbors a dark obsession with preying on black people. Other users also accused the story of sidelining the trauma of the black characters, rather than making them central focus like Peele's project does. The name Karen is widely used online as a reference to entitled, and often racist, white women. The film sees Orange as the new black actress Taryn Manning in the leading role as Karen, with Saints and Sinners star Jasmine Burke, and Watch producer Corey Hardrict as Malik and Amani, the new neighbors. Daniels teased an insight into the film last year in an Instagram post, in which he said the film features heavy social commentary. The producer added that he felt the film was a necessary story. In 2020, he wrote, "With the cold-hearted murders of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, to name a few, I felt it was necessary at this point for me to use my voice to speak truth to power and move the conversations forward as it relates to social injustices, racism and the litany of other inequalities people of color are faced with daily in this country." Despite Daniels welcoming the comparisons, the film has a lot to live up to, as Get Out opened to global critical acclaim and even bagged an Oscar for Best Screenplay, as well as a slate of other Academy Awards nods. The director has not yet announced a release date for Karen.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is B. Avery here for another trailer reaction. This one seems crazy. It's Karen. They actually have a movie about racist Karens, these white supremacists. So this should be entertaining. I'm seeing like the first 5 seconds of it, like, oh, nope, got to turn it off. I want to react to it. And I believe this is being put out by, well, I know it's being put out by BET. So yeah, really interested in seeing what this thing is all about. So let me go ahead and put on these headphones so you guys can stop listening to me talk and watch me watch this trailer. As soon as I get this cord untangled. All right, here we go. BET original movies. Coke Daniels.
This is a long way from East Point.
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance.
Tell me about your new
Wow.
neighbors.
They're black. Do you mind keeping it down? If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
What? She tripping.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor.
Her name is Karen
To
too.
be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
Right when it's picked up?
Nice.
Yeah, she's nice.
Mama,
Wait a minute.
damn.
We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen.
So they're in. Okay, so it's
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen.
slaving.
I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone. We didn't do anything.
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood?
Wow.
Next thing you know, we have criminals. You take care of him.
They going all
take care
in.
of her.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
Oh, so they
The
okay.
officers
She know.
uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
She
Yeah.
doesn't like black people.
We have a search warrant.
Well, I'm black.
I know, she doesn't like you either.
Yeah.
I want to sell the house.
What I
They
do?
going-
You can't tell me, huh?
We are living next door to a racist.
Satan.
You went in her house?
You wouldn't want your wife to know our little secret, right?
That was not standard police procedure back there.
What do we have here?
When you got a hammer, everything looks like nails.
You people are very angry.
They're not holding back.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Wow. Is that blood? Okay, I thought it was a noose at first, but that's blood. Bad things happen to people that don't comply. She said, take the thing back as soon as the truck come get the trash. Wow, I'm definitely checking this out. It looks you know, I'm not, you know, it's a smaller budget, but not tripping on that. Coke Daniels, what have you done before? Mr. Daniels. Mr. Daniels. I don't recognize anything off the top of my head. His, hers, and the truth. Okay. Man, this is going to be, when does this come out exactly? It doesn't say. A racist woman takes it as a personal mission to displace the new black family that just moved into the neighborhood. They won't back down without a fight. All right. All right. Wow, we're going to see. Taryn Manning is Karen. You gonna care? Well, I forgot what was she on. I definitely recognize her now. Is Hustling Flow it? I guess so. But yeah, guys, what do y'all think about this? This seemed thrown off. For real. She's blonde. She was black hair in this. But yeah, y'all can't even see that. I'm up here reading stuff. My fault, y'all. What I was looking at is this right here. The movie is based on a dead meme from 2019. Yeah, and she's blonde. But yeah, this looks. Was I scrolling that whole time and y'all couldn't see nothing but my face? I'm so sorry. But yeah, this looks crazy, y'all. I'm gonna check it out though.
A lot of you are already talking about this story. We've all seen those viral Karen videos of white middle-aged women losing their cool, like the woman who harassed a Lyft driver and his passenger, and the Central Park Karen who called the cops on a black bird watcher. And we've also heard from you, okay, that you don't, some of you rather, I should say, some of you do not like the Karen term. Well, it looks like Karen is coming to the big screen. Taryn Manning from Orange is the New Black is set to star in a Karen movie about a racist, entitled white woman who terrorizes her new black neighbors. Wow, the suspense thriller is set to be released next year. Okay, it reminds me, have you seen Reese Witherspoon's new TV show?
Oh, Little Fires Everywhere?
Little Fires Everywhere?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. So
but I hear it's good.
If you haven't seen Little Fires Everywhere, she kind of plays, she believes she's a very woke white woman, but in actuality, it's so ingrained in her, the microaggressions, that she is indeed a Karen. What do you make of this new movie?
You know, I think that it's something, obviously it's a hot button issue, and the idea of people being labeled Karens for this despicable behavior is something that's on the front lines. I think it does open up another conversation. Brandon and I were talking earlier, and he was describing his experiences being one of the only black families in different communities, and how those microaggressions end up with your family being accused of when things are going missing. Wow. You know, being kind of like not invited to things when everybody else in the neighborhood are, or in my case, I had to convince everyone that my dad wasn't a professional athlete.
What?
Yeah, like that was like the thing.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think that it could be a very interesting, it could open up conversation. I think that's what we need.
Interesting. And Jeff, what do you make of it? I know some of our viewers felt like the ones that are named Karen don't want to be labeled as a Karen, but their name is Karen.
And I said that before. I feel bad for the people named Karen out there, right, who have to deal with this. And I don't like the big label, right? If you do one thing, all of a sudden you're labeled as a Karen and you're the worst of the worst. I don't like the big labeling either, but I do like people being called out on their actions. Listen, you have to pay for your actions, right? I think we've all learned that. We've all gone through that. That's how you grow as a person. I'm not against learning that, as letting these people see who they really are through a camera lens, because that's how you learn sometimes. But I don't want to shame them for the rest of their lives. But Erica said it might be an educational moment, not only for people who don't know the black community, right, but for the people themselves who are doing this and they have no idea they're doing it.
I hope it becomes a
I guess this is a long way from East Point.
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance.
Tell me about your new neighbors.
They're black. Do you mind keeping it down? If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor. You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
Is she nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute, we have a white entitled neighbor named Karen?
Karen, hey, enjoy yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen.
Oh my God, this is...
I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up?
They're trying to suck the racism out of this.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone, we didn't do anything.
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood? Next thing you know, we have criminals. You take care of him, and I will take care of her.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
She doesn't like black people.
We have a search warrant.
Well, I'm black.
I know, she doesn't like you either.
I want to sell the house.
What'd I do? You can't tell me, huh?
We are living next door to a racist. You went in her house?
You wouldn't want your wife to know our little secret, right?
That was not standard police procedure back there.
What do we have here?
Where you got a hammer, everything looks like nails.
You people are very angry.
Shut your mouth, boy.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
If I had seen this trailer 20 years ago, I would have had a far different reaction than I do today. But with many people in society obsessing over skin color and racism, the Karen movie is one of those situations where I have to assume the director either didn't read the room or is intentionally fanning the flames of racial agitation. So first things first, what is a Karen? According to the Urban Dictionary, Karen is a pejorative term used in the United States and other English-speaking countries for a woman perceived as entitled or demanding beyond the scope of what is appropriate or necessary. A common stereotype is that of a white woman who uses her privilege to demand her own way at the expense of others. And it's that very last part of the definition that's the problem. The term Karen is usually recognized as something exclusive to white women, even though entitlement and, dare I say, privilege is found among all backgrounds. I'm embarrassed to admit that I've sat through many world star hip-hop videos to see black women throw tantrums over ridiculous things, but equally confused to see that none of these incidents were classified as a Karen moment. Why? What's the distinction between a white woman throwing a tantrum and a black woman throwing a tantrum? Is it just skin color? Is it just a fancy name to ridicule white women? And in the reverse, is there an exclusive and acceptable name that society should use to ridicule black women? I don't mean that you should do that, but I'm just trying to keep the logic consistent here. Or perhaps it's the act of calling the police that makes someone a Karen. Because according to the internet, white people calling the police on black people will put black people at a much higher risk for police brutality. And I'm saying it like this because I've heard this excuse before. First of all, invisible rules such as don't call the police on black people or the infamous black people can't be racist, I'd argue are direct contributors to crimes and acts of racism committed by black people. It's foolish to think that some people wouldn't take full advantage of all the excuses they have at their disposal if they knew that their skin color gave them special privileges. Yes, I said privileges. Second of all, if it's the act of calling the police on a black person that makes someone a Karen, then this should also raise extreme concern. One of the first videos I made on this channel was on the topic of critical thinking, and I specifically gave some examples relating to the viral Karen videos that we always see. So to summarize, let's break down the consequences that result from a video like that being published. Number one, we only get half the story. It's really bothersome to see how many people are quick to label a 20-second video a racist incident when the only details they have available to them is the fact that a white person called the police on a black person, or the fact that someone claimed it was an act of racism and therefore it must be true. But what happened before the cameras started rolling? And also, what did the white person say or do that could connect the video to an act of racism? Telling the 911 operator that they're reporting a black man? Well, I'm not sure how many times you've called the police, but typically you have to give a description to the dispatcher about the person you're calling for. Number two, these videos create more problems. This is a really hard pill to swallow, so I need you to really think about this for a second. Let's say someone was legitimately racist and said some racist things to a black person in public. Someone takes a video, uploads it online, and now the entire world knows about racist Karen. You've put a giant target on that person's back because you didn't get the memo that there will always be an abundance of people that say not nice things about you. Does a viral video make the person all of a sudden not a racist? I would argue that it might make them worse. And what if all the attention results in them losing their job? Oh, a racist person shouldn't be allowed to support their family? Should you be allowed to support your family if you also held ill will towards another person? Because that's what it is. I put racist remarks on the same level as any other hateful remark. It doesn't mean that it's right, but it's still a term that makes you feel bad, and words don't automatically mean violence. And I can bet that threatening, shaming, or even assaulting people doesn't actually fix their behavior. But let's imagine for a second that the Karen in this scenario wasn't racist, but the things that she said in the video, like giving a description to the police dispatch, was considered an act of racism because, as we all know, hate speech is extremely subjective. A presumably innocent person is now vilified because the public determined that her actions were racist. Similar to how our current society is obsessed with pulling the race card at the slightest this disagreement. So now you have a situation of a not racist person being accused of racism in front of the entire world. They're vilified, fired from their job, and if they're really unlucky, maybe their children will get harassed in school because the other kids saw a video of their racist mommy on TV. And where do you think all of that resentment goes? I'd imagine a racist person would still do their best to make sure they're able to support their family, so I can only imagine the animosity that comes with falsely accusing someone of racism. Does the act of creating more problems in pursuit of exposing potential racists sound like a logical idea to you? And if you do happen to expose racists, what now? Did that actually fix anything? Number 3. These videos promote victimhood. As I said earlier, a lot of the times these Karen videos give us minimal information while the conclusions are very extreme. A lot of people simply lack the ability to think critically, which I summarize as the ability to consider the aftermath or consequences of a situation, as well as consider all the possibilities of what took place. A big problem that I see within Black America, and I mean this by no exaggeration, is the habit of pulling the race card out in situations where racism is nowhere to be found. We see this a lot with the current narrative that systemic racism or institutional racism is the root cause of poverty among Black America, when in actuality, we know that other things like resourcefulness, mindset, work ethic, the ability to overcome adversity are other determining factors. If everything can be blamed on something or someone else, then there really isn't an incentive for personal development. It's the same thing with these Karen videos. A 20-second out-of-context clip gets uploaded, someone perceives that incident as racist, and then that results in fear-mongering society into believing that racism is on the rise. And once you understand that, it's easier to see how some people throw the race card around because we've already set the expectation that anyone can conclude something's racist without understanding the importance of context and nuance. And lastly, at number 4, these videos contribute to social polarization. Imagine if the only takeaways after watching one of these videos is white woman and racist. Combine that with society selectively imposing the Karen label when a person is white, and it closely resembles to how the mainstream media reports similar stories depending on what color the suspect or victims are. By only showing you bad white people, it creates a very skewed perception of reality. And while some might consider this to be a good thing because it's payback for Black people being generalized, the difference is that this is encouraged and acceptable generalizing. A movie was made about entitled, racist white women in a time where society seems to be inching towards a race war. Does this honestly sound like something that the world needs right now? Can we honestly say that this movie won't make matters worse despite vilifying white women for these same acts committed by Black women? And before you bore me with the claims that I just want to shield racist or tell white people the things that they want to hear, allow me to rebuttal. What's right and what's wrong doesn't change depending on your personal bias. You know this. And if generalizations perpetuate harmful stereotypes towards Black people, then it's equally as harmful for white people. And if you've been led to believe otherwise, perhaps you should consider what is to gain by someone convincing you that bad behavior is okay depending on what you look like. Does that person truly have you in their best interests? Or is it possible that they know the slightest cry of racism will make certain people react?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. How's it going, everybody? My name is Peanut Reacts, and today, unlike my penis, this video is going to be pretty short. And the reason is because I'm going to be actually watching a movie trailer, but not just any movie trailer. There is this new movie coming out called Karen the Movie. I have no idea. Maybe it's a horror movie about Karen, that like a wild Karen that's just like unleashing destruction on people. I have no idea. But the like to dislike ratio, oh my goodness. 8,000 likes, 46,000 dislikes. So this has to be bad for some reason, but I have no idea. I'm watching this for the first time. I saw a thumbnail of like someone saying it was horrible, so obviously I have to give my live, raw thoughts on it. So yeah, sorry if this video is a little shorter than usual, but I just, I had to watch it, so we're gonna be watching it. This is basically what's happening. So yeah, let's hop right into it. Karen movie teaser/trailer. Oh, it's by BET, perfect. That's how you know it's great. By Coke Daniels.
This is a long way from East Point.
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance.
So very rich neighborhood, first off. Oh, there's the woman of the hour.
Tell me about your new neighbors.
They're black.
What?
If you don't comply, I'll tell you.
What? No way.
Taking home security serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor. You need
Okay.
to be taking your trash cans off the curb right
Oh
when
my,
the
it's
trash-
literally, is this a
Is she
joke?
nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Is this real?
Hey, enjoy
Like,
yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen. I've come
What?
across some very
What is this?
teenagers. Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
I left my wallet with my ID.
This can't be real.
Leave us alone. We didn't do anything.
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood? Next thing you know, we have criminals.
No, this has to be a skit
I
of some
can take care
sort.
of her.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
What about, is she like a serial killer or just like a really Karen Karen?
Well, I'm black.
I know, she doesn't like you either.
What's with the horror music?
I want to sell the house.
What'd I do? You can't tell me, huh?
We are living next door to
What?
racist. You went in her house?
You wouldn't want your wife to know our little secret, right?
Holy shit.
What do we have here?
Where you got a hammer, everything looks like nails.
Facts.
People are very angry.
I really don't like her face. What?
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Is this a horror movie? What? Is that it? That's it. Very few times on this channel am I actually speechless. So, oh, ad. So, was it a horror? Hang on, we're Googling here. We're Googling here. So I'm trying to see. No! It's a crime/drama. No! That has to either be comedy or horror, because that was horrifically funny. So she comes in and she's like, how are the neighbors? They're black. Like, what is, what? What did I just watch? There's no way that's serious. There's no way. I'm genuinely speechless as to what the fuck I just watched. Like, they played horror music while being the stupidest lines I've ever seen, with the stupidest looking lady ever. There's no way that's not a joke. This has to be some sort of sick joke. I don't even know. I can't even comprehend what the fuck I just watched. I don't know. I'm gonna sleep on this. Hopefully I don't get hunted down by a crazy Karen, but that was insane. I might have to watch that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you all for watching. Love you all. Goodbye.
Is this it? The Karen movie trailer. Let's see. What is it?
I guess this is a long way from.
Hold up. Who's Coke Daniels? Does anyone know who Coke Daniels is? Okay, this is Coke Daniels. What do we know about Coke Daniels? I don't know anything about Coke Daniels. Back to it. I always like to see, well, who is this directed by? Who produced this? Who put money behind this? Let's see.
From East Point.
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance. Tell me about your new neighbors.
They're black.
Tell me about your new neighbors. They're black. Oh, say no more. Let's... Waiter, can we get something a little stronger? I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. That is freaking funny.
Keeping it down. If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi.
Listen, hold up. That's not really a Karen, though. Not yet, anyway. I cannot be the only person who can't say. If we're in a restaurant, why the hell are you all so loud? And when I mean y'all, I mean you ignorants. I don't care if they're white, black, why are they always so loud? We're in a restaurant. Bruh, I went to Mastro's and my mind was blown. There was fools in line with like t-shirts. I was like, didn't Mastro's had a dress code? I've never in my life been to Mastro's and someone be allowed in with a t-shirt. This mofo had t-shirts and shorts. For those of you who don't know, Mastro's is a steakhouse. It's a very, very nice steakhouse over here in LA. Bruh, there was a fool with a t-shirt in line at Mastro's. Do you hear what I'm saying? There was a girl with like a tube top. She looked like she had come from the beach or something. I'm like, what's going on here? People in sneakers? My mind was blown. Like the quality is plummeted. I don't care what anyone says. I can't stand the fool who's screaming in the theater or the person who brings their child to the theater. What? Listen, the one beautiful thing about having the movies on Amazon and all these online things is that we don't have to hear your freaking loud ass child. Stuff that child with popcorn or something. Or your little baby kids. Have you ever had baby kids in a theater, just the mofos just running around or constantly commenting? Just, mommy, when we gonna get home? Will you shut the fuck up? What the hell are you doing in this movie anyway? It's rated R. The R is not for retarded. So I don't know why you brought Baby Thing 1 and Baby Thing 2 in here. Can't you take them to go see, I don't know, Alice in Wonderland or something? Like, I'm trying to watch this movie. Bruh, I don't care what anyone says. The pandemic, this was the greatest thing to happen to this country. Fight me. Because now I can go into a theater. No kids, bruh. They got all this social distancing, so people are still afraid. Bruh, I went into a theater, it was damn near almost empty. I was like, Lord in heaven, you have answered my prayers. You have answered my prayers, Lord. This is the greatest thing to happen to the country. I don't care what anyone says. I'm sorry. Loud ass freaking kids. Especially if they bring them to a restaurant. Listen, why are you bringing your child to certain restaurants? Take the little baby ass to IHOP or Denny's or something. All right? Train them before you bring them to a more refined restaurant. What the hell? You got your little baby ass kid running around in Nobu. Like, what's wrong with you? And they want to be upset at me when I start looking at them sideways. Just, did that little mofo take my napkin? I'm sorry. I'm with Karen on that part. I can't stand people who act like they're the only ones in the restaurant. Why are you laughing so hard? It would, like, I kid you not. The next time that happens, I'm going to walk up. What did he say? Because you were laughing so hard, you interrupted my dinner. Because I was laughing, your laughter just took my laughter over. So I want to know what was so funny so we can all laugh. Why don't you share with the class? Why don't you share with the restaurant? Would you be so kind? I'm going to embarrass you. That's what I'm going to do. Point 1 for Karen.
I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor. You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
Okay, that's a bit much. That's a bit much, especially if it's my property. Calm down.
Is she nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen, okay, enjoy yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen. I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone. We didn't do anything.
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood? Next thing you know, we have criminals. You take care of him, and I will take care of her.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
Her brother is an officer? Oh my God. I don't think this is Karen. I think this is everyday life. This sounds like hell, not Karen. Her brother is an officer? Lord in heaven. You know that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes these Karens, because you know they have some sick, perverse, I don't know, infatuation with like law enforcement or military or something. It's just, you gotta serve. That's your job in life. What? Within the Jewish community, it's like either a lawyer or a dentist. In the ignorant community, It's either military or law enforcement. Not always. Lordy.
She doesn't like black people.
She doesn't like black people. Well, what happened to her? I would see that as an invitation. I'd be like, okay, why does she not like black people? Did a black man break her heart? What was the deal? Like, that's okay. Now we can work off of something, right? Now we can see, okay, she doesn't like black people. Great, that's a good starting point. Let's find out why. What's the reason? Talk to me, Karen, talk to me.
We have a search warrant.
Well, I'm black. I know, she doesn't like you either.
I want to sell the house.
What I do? You can't tell me, huh?
We are living.
Oh, damn, what the hell? A Confederate lotion? Did they go to her place?
I want to sell the house.
What I do? You can't tell me, huh?
Bruh, I would leave that place so fast. Because you know what they'll say. Now, Lucas, don't worry about the lotion, all right? I know you blackies get a little scared of that flag. That's just heritage for us, all right? My father's father worked in the Confederate Army. You know, he fought for states' rights, all right? He had nothing against you darkies. It was about states' rights. That's what they'll say, bruh. And then you'll wind up... you'll wind up and see your kidney taken or something. Be in the sunken place. Hoping someone takes a picture of you with the flash on. Just...
We are living next door to a racist. You went in her house?
You wouldn't want your wife to know our little secret, right?
I was not staying in police procedure.
He broke into her house? I'm sorry, he gets everything that's coming to him. You broke into a racist house? That's just suicide. That's like saying, please kill me, and you know the brother is an officer? I got no sympathy for this person. I got no sympathy for this family. I'm sorry. I'm Team Karen right now, to be honest with you. I'm Team Karen right now. That's 2 for Karen. Maybe 1 for them because the trash can thing. That's 2 for Karen for me. I'm Team Karen. You broke into her house and you know the brother's an officer and she's a racist? This is natural selection to me. I have no problem with this. I'm sorry.
What do we have here? We got a hammer. Everything looks like nails.
You people are very angry.
Shut your mouth, boy.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Bad things happen to people who don't comply. Bad things happen to people who don't comply. God dog. You know she's a Republican. You know she's a Republican. Who did you vote for? Trump? I didn't even get to finish the question. I agree with Karen. I don't know. Based off of this trailer, I agree with Karen. I agree with Karen. I don't know what to I agree with Karen. Look at her. This is probably her community or something. She's organizing. What are the black couple doing? They just crying. She's organizing. That's what it looks like.
We have criminals.
Right? She's organizing. She's creating a team. She's creating the Avengers. What is the black couple doing? I want to leave. I want to leave. Karen is organizing. I'm not even mad at her. That's what you guys should have done. Where is it? Where is she organizing? I'm not even upset at her. How you gonna want me to be upset at her? We have criminals here. She's making a case. Look, she got a little whiteboard and everything. What do they constantly show the black people doing? As a matter of fact, I would say this is white supremacy. This movie is white supremacy. Because it's not doing anything for black people. It's showing the black people, I want to leave. Who's the alpha in this movie? It doesn't look like the black man, nor the black woman. Karen looks like the alpha. She's throwing over trash cans. She's organizing. Well, listen, we have criminals in our community right now. Now, I'm not saying it's related to the black people who came in, but it sure did happen to come around the same time period, okay? Now, based off of the charts that I've made, who's crying? Who's crying right here? I would say she. Now, what black woman would cry? I don't know, not one damn black woman that would cry. I know there are some who would probably go over to that house. Do you think a black woman would allow another woman to knock over her trash can? And then have her child come over and say, yeah, my mom doesn't like you. She doesn't like you or your man because you're black. This seems like white supremacy. Who is this Coke Daniels? He looks like a bootleg Sean King. I don't think I can trust him at all. Here's the thing. What do they make the black family do? It starts off with them being loud at the dinner table.
I'm keeping it down. If you don't.
It starts off with them being loud at the dinner table. What person is going to want someone who's loud at a dinner table? This seems like white supremacy to me. It seems like only ignorance would find this as empowering. I don't find anything empowering about this. What? Because he got what? Little kente cloth
She is
and stuff?
slaving away in the kitchen.
Slaving away in the kitchen. She just gonna take that in her own house? What black woman is gonna allow somebody who you believe to be a racist, depending on where it is in the movie, or know to be a racist, to say, look at her slaving away in the kitchen, and just and just keep her mouth shut? This seems like white supremacy to me, because there are a lot of black women that would check her real quick in their own house. You gonna come off as disrespectful in my own house? No. That's not how that's gonna work. Not at all. This seems like white supremacy to me. Look at that. Who has the power here? It seems like white supremacy to me. She organizing. She's the intelligent one. Where they have? Who is this? The black police chief or something? Who is this? Of course, please don't let him be a black police chief.
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
Where did the black? I don't even know if I want to see this movie. Well, I'm not racist. Why are you explaining to the child if you're racist or not? How does the child even know what racist is?
Well, I'm black.
Why are you explaining to a little racist child, possibly? You don't think that child can be an agent? Mommy, she hit me. She dislocated my shoulder. This seems like white supremacy to me.
I want to sell the house.
You want to sell the house? I don't know any black woman that would give up that easily. Do you know any black woman that would give up that easily? I want to sell the house. You mean a house that you guys spent your hard-earned money to get? A location that you had been looking at? What can someone explain to me this black woman that my guy here has an image of? Can someone explain to me what black woman, a black woman that I'm familiar with, they would go to the gun shop. Karen's house would be on fire. And they'd blame it on an act of God. Well, lightning must have struck it. I don't know what happened. What is this? What is this? I want to sell the house. You want to retreat and you under attack? This seems like white supremacy to me. Definitely seems like white supremacy to me. You want us to retreat? I just want to sell the house. I want to sell the house. What? This seems like white supremacy to me. I don't know what to tell you about this one. I don't know how they're gonna end it. And what black man is gonna go into another person's house like this? You in a nice neighborhood as is. You already know that the person next to you doesn't like you that much. So you're gonna go into their house? This is not looking like an ally. This is not looking like an ally at all. This is not looking like an ally at all. I don't know about you guys. But does that even make any sense to you? Well, I want to go into her place. You mean the racist bee who just already said she doesn't like you and is looking for an excuse to cause your life to be a living hell? You want to go and break and enter to her place? They make black people look weak and dumb and ignorant. Ignorant in the first half because they being apparently loud at the restaurant. Dumb by him breaking into her house. And weak by him, I just want to sell the house. Yeah, no, this looks like white supremacy to me. And I'm sure they try to wrap it up with a nice little bow because apparently there's some shootout that happens.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Yeah, no, sorry. I don't really care. Yeah, and what? She has a gun? Let me guess. The black woman gets the kill or something? She saves her man or something? That's a horrible special effect. Bro, they couldn't even blur that out a little bit more? There's no freaking... Because I did composite work for a while. There's no reflection on the gun, on her hands. Bro, that is the worst muzzle flash effect I have seen in my life. How much... Bruh, stop it, bro. There is no recoil on the gun. What is this? This is, even from a creative side, this is trash. What is this? Don't be fooled by it. This is white supremacy. When people want to talk about white supremacy, this is what white supremacy is.
If I see one more fake Jordan Peele style movie, I promise you I'm going to do something quickly.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
Girl, what's going on? I'm about to pull my wig out. I am about to pull my wig out because if I see one more pretend, fake, wannabe Jordan Peele movie, I promise you I'm going to scream. I promise you I'm going to scream. So, BET. BET's supposed to stand for Black Entertainment Television. Girl, they got the old school star and the emblem. Has the nerve to release a trailer for a movie called Karen. A movie called Karen in 2021. When we got so many things to talk about, so many things that we can get into, y'all want to do a movie about Karen. And what's funny is, it probably could have worked, but y'all are trying to follow the Jordan Peele approach, and it's not going to work for a budget that y'all have. It's giving very much a Lifetime biopic. It's giving very much, girl, we're going to spend the least money and try to make the most money. I honestly thought Tyler Perry is involved in this because it just looked lackluster. I can tell, like, just looking at the trailer, that I'm going to find, we're going to see a microphone in the corner, like, we're going to see some stuff, like, it just looks bad. It looks, and then the fact that y'all got Tia Mary, husband in here, Corey Hedrick in here, I'm literally screaming. I'm literally screaming. So this trailer came out the other day, and I just was like, I'm not watching it. I thought it was a joke. I honestly thought it was a skit. I thought it was a skit. I said, oh, girl, this is giving Lala Scissorhands doing this, or maybe this is a skit for Instagram. This is a TikTok. This is somebody who just want to play around. It's giving something. Girl, I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, no, this is BET doing this. This is BET. And y'all got this, the white woman, like, girl, the white woman that y'all got playing in here, what is her name? Terry Manning. And the director is Cole Daniels. And the screenplay is by Cole Daniels. If I click on here and I see that Cole Daniels is a white man, I'm going to scream.
Electric chair.
Holy shit.
Cole Daniels looks like... Cole Daniels looks like Sean King's stunt double. Like, y'all cannot be serious right now. Like, y'all can't be serious. And he's the person who responds. You know what? I recognize this white woman. I recognize her. She played in Orange is the New Black. She wasn't even the main character in Orange is the New Black. Like, it's just like, like, this is disgusting. There's so many things to talk about. Y'all are not going to get another Get Out. Y'all are squeezing blood from slavery. Y'all are squeezing blood from oppression to sit here and make money. Like, that's stuff that Jordan Peele did. That was like a one-time thing. You can't keep creating that same, but you know what, you can. Because the studios will give y'all money to recreate this sad bull crap, and folks will consume it. But it's just like, y'all need to be on site. Like, y'all need to be popped on site. There is no reason for a film like this to be out in 2021 when we have so many other black stories to tell. So I'm gonna continue to try to watch this trailer. It's just giving me foolishness. Like, so this black couple is coming into town. They moved to another neighborhood. Apparently they done bought a house or whatever. And what I'm screaming about is the black husband is driving a Charger. Like, I'm literally screaming like, girl, like, and you got this white woman played by Taryn Manning who is like, her name is Karen, and she lives across the street, and she's just like, okay, you need to make sure you put your trash out, you need to make sure you bring your trash back in after it's been collected. Like, she's doing the thing. She is HOA, girl, but it's Home Oppression Association. Like, that's like, she's a part of the Home Oppression Association, and she is like, I'm gonna terrorize these black folks. Like, it just looks bad. I don't even understand the plot. Like, she's walking around, and apparently these black kids, or this, one of them looked like Sean King's brother or something, another Sean King looking like he in here, I don't know, maybe this is Coke's cousin or something, I don't know. And apparently these black folks was out here playing basketball or something. She didn't call the police. Now we're seeing white police officers terrorize these black folks for just existing and playing basketball. Like, it's just, like, and she just making it. Y'all got the perfect, you know what? The casting is A1 though. Because Taryn Manning looks like the white woman from the old cartoons, the old white woman who put her pie in front of the damn window and dared a nigga or a cat to come and sniff it. Like, you gonna smell that? It's giving pie. Like, she got the old wrinkly face right here. Like, I feel like, oh, like normally all the wrinkles, they be having a little wrinkly face. You just, the ones that is like, when you look at them, they get a little smile, just look like half their face went up in their chin or whatever. But she is just a white woman with a bob that is complaining on her neighbors who are black for just existing. And she's calling the police. And I'm trying to understand what the plot is of this movie. Maybe she's a serial killer, maybe whatever. And it seems like that she was involved in the Klan. You got this little kid comes out, apparently her daughter, and you know, it's giving very much, I don't hire black people. The truth is, I don't hire black people. That's giving, like, 2021. When we have so many stories to be told, like literary stories being told right now, like real life situations that happen with black folks, productive things, things that could be good, and then we get some mess like this. And it's produced by a network called Black Entertainment Television. And I want to understand, I want somebody to explain to me, how is this entertainment for black folks? Because this is giving me like, it's just trash comedy. Like, y'all want to treat it as a horror movie, like racism. We don't need to see this shit. This shit is happening in real life. This is going, the reason why Get Out made it, because it was kind of different, like as we were entering in a new phase of folks, you know, like seeing how the world is treating black and brown folks. And Get Out was good. I like Get Out. I liked how it was done. It was kind of like, it was racist, it was giving those conversations, but it was a different type of spin. And now you have everybody trying to recreate that. You have everybody trying to do some version of that. You got Queen and Slim, hated that movie, because some folks like it, I did not like it. You got them. You also have, what else? It's just like so many movies and now shows and stuff, and Hollywood is greenlighting all this anti-black mess. All of this mess to make money. And you would think that BET would have a little bit of a stronger filter to keep mess like this out, but they start, oh girl, no man, we stand behind this, and we're gonna pick a light-skinned man to do it. Besides the plot being bad, the camera, the angles, The direction is just terrible. First of all, this don't even look like no house that black folks would even move into. And I'm not saying that because black folks can't afford it, but it just looked like this don't belong to black folks. Like this don't look like a house that folks even live in. It's giving very much no. And what I'm seeing from the end of the trailer, it seems as though a white police officer is going to be the person who saves them. Because now you have this white police officer like, oh girl, you're roughing them up a little too much, like da 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 da. And now you're gonna have it where the white person is the savior in this movie. I guarantee you, like watching it, it's giving that this is like a white person is about to be the savior in this. And it's just like, why are we doing this? Like this is not even good. Like nothing about this film, nothing about this trailer looks good. I don't even want to hate watch this mess. It just looks so bad. Like this looks horrible. Like not even funny. Like this shit looks really bad. And folks are eating this up. Like folks are like, oh girl, we gonna watch this. And there's a lot of folks like, hell no, I'm not watching it. And I hope enough folks, I hope this never sees the light of day. I hope this never sees the light of day because films like this do not need to be produced. They don't need to be greenlit. They don't even need to be on the screen. Now don't get me wrong, Get Out was good. The other one that he did, Us, hated it. I did not like Us. Us could have been kept. I just didn't, a lot of stuff just didn't connect and it makes sense for me. But it's just like, I don't want no more. I don't want no more. Like, I'm like Azalea Banks, like, I don't want to share this. Don't share this with all. We don't want it. We don't want to consume any more of this oppression music. Oppression music. Like, it's giving very much that. Like, y'all want to give us oppression media for us to consume and us to laugh at when we are really living every day and seeing oppression. And it's just like, why do we need to see a white woman being paid to be racist to black folks on film on a network that is supposed to be for black entertainment television? Some of them make sense for me, period, because it's not making any. Like, it's just like, girl, what's the purpose of this? And it's Karen. Then the logo looks even trash. Y'all got this white woman in the middle in the triangle. It's just, I guess the triangle is supposed to be a clan. Maybe it's a hood for her being in the KKK. This was the most non-thought out piece of shit I have ever seen in my life. I just cannot see. They was really gassing this shit up like, girl, yeah, this shit gonna be a bop. It's not. Not at all.
So it seems like every single one of us in our everyday lives from time to time has to come across what I would describe as a Karen. You know, the type of person that's so entitled and so outraged that they end up going viral across social media for their crazy antics. I mean, we've been seeing these Karens for years, and it seems like they just get crazier and crazier. And their very high level of entitlement compared to their very much unaccomplished lives really tells me all I need to know about these types of women. For one, I'm sure they've never had any sort of struggle or adversity in their life. And for two, they're the types of people who expect everything to be handed to them on a silver spoon, literally feeding them success. And so that's why in their sick brains, they always think they're 100% right. They always seem to think they rule the universe and can do whatever the hell they want, when that's obviously not the truth. And most of these times, these Karens get absolutely owned. We've seen some of them go to jail for a very long time. Either way, I say all of that because last year I was talking about this Karen movie they were making, which was pretty much supposed to be like a parody horror film. I mean, it's technically still supposed to be scary, but it's obviously about this meme subject, so they're going to be playing up to a lot of stereotypes and in general making fun of these entitled women. So it was probably about a year ago that I was talking about them possibly producing that movie, and now the trailer is finally here. The word on the street is the movie looks like dog shit, and I'm actually going to be doing a live reaction to the trailer. I purposely put off watching it for this video. So let's see what's going on with these Karens, man. Oh no, not a BET original. This is already starting out like it's gonna be trash. And that's not hating on BET, okay? They produce some very entertaining stuff, but it's a lot like the black version of Hallmark, okay?
Guess this is a long way from East Point.
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance.
Too light-skinned?
Tell me about
If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
Oh my god. Tell me about your new neighbors. They're black. The amount of racial stereotypes this movie is about to hold are just insane. Oh, let's get ready for the cringe, my people.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor. You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
Ayo, I gotta admit, that is some pretty funny shit. There's some neighbors who are legitimately like this, who don't have anything else to do but sit around at home and terrorize the neighborhood. You leave your trash can out for 1 extra hour, and they're over there trying to report you to the HOA. Karen and Kevin ass motherfuckers.
Nice.
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen, okay, enjoy yourself.
There
Oh
she
my
is,
God.
slaving away in the kitchen.
Not the black excellence scarf. Oh, this movie is gonna be something else. Is this one being brought to you by Dr. Umar Johnson?
I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone. We didn't do anything.
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood?
You know, it's funny how they keep making these films about black trauma and profiting off that shit. I mean, how many movies have we seen in the last couple of years where you have a very uncomfortable scene between a black person and a police officer? I know it's supposed to make you uncomfortable, and definitely gets the job done most of the time for me.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
She doesn't like black people.
Oh shit.
Well, I'm black.
Well, I'm black. Well, no shit.
No, she doesn't like you either.
Oh, fuck.
We are living next door to a racist.
Not the Confederate flag on the soap, man. Oh, like I said, these stereotypes are gonna be outrageous, people. I really do like the selection of the Karen, though, okay? She really do be looking like that privileged chick who's all up in your business trying to be all nosy.
What do we have here? We got a hammer. Everything looks like nails.
You people are very angry.
Damn.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Oh my god. The amount of fucking stereotypes they stuck in that shitty ass trailer. Yeah, this movie looks like it's gonna be straight up dog water. I mean, God, it really almost does seem like a parody. Is that what it's supposed to be? They even had to throw a "you people" in there. Is this really what we needed in the world right now? When there's so much racial division, when there's so much misunderstanding, we really need another movie exemplifying that shit. I don't know, I just think the movie looks whack. When's the last time you came across a Karen? Let me know down in the comments. As always, I do want to thank you guys for watching today and subscribing. As you guys know, it's been your boy, the Tan Superman, and I'm out. Peace!
We have reached the absolute golden era in terms of cinema, and I know a lot of you are going to say, Sean, are you not reviewing the Karen trailer today, which looks like hot garbage? And yes, I am reviewing the Karen trailer, but I'm not going to be doing that low-level analysis that you'll see on other channels, where they just say, this movie, anti-white racism. The name of the movie is a stereotype for a white woman. No. You can get that low analysis other places. That's not what you come here for, and that's not what I give you. In order to understand what's happening across big screens around the country, you need to understand what era we're living in terms of film, and specifically in terms of horror movies. This is the era of black fear being put onto the screen, and I'm 100% here for it. And it all started, of course, or at least it got into the broad consciousness of Americans, of course, with the movie Get Out. Now, a lot of people don't like the movie Get Out. A lot of people say Get Out's racist. But here's the thing. Film is a visual representation of ideas. It's actually a visual language. It's called film language, which is quite fitting now that I say it out loud. And horror movies are representations of fear. So what we saw in the movie Get Out, you can read as racist because white people are all the villains and they're trying to take over the body, spoiler alert, of the black people in the movie. Or you can read it as the fear that a black person who is dating a white woman who comes from a wealthy background feels in going home to meet that family. A fear that Jordan Peele himself, being married to a white woman, likely felt, and this is what is being represented. It's not a literal interpretation of what happens, it's the fear of the point of view character, which is the director and the writer, Jordan Peele. Totally fine with that. 100% on board with that. I don't see why people have to be so against it, so on edge. You know, back in the day when people were saying that they just want to save art from the woke because the woke were trying to police art, don't become an art policeman yourself in order to save it from the woke. A perfect example of this that has no racial connotation, of course, is the movie It Follows. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely great. The premise of It Follows is that after having a one-night stand, our lead character finds out that there is a monster following her, and if the monster catches her, it will kill her. And the only way to get rid of the monster is to not actually get rid of it, it's to pass it on to somebody else. This is obviously an allegory or a visual representation of fears of STDs, aka it has some message about casual sex, but it's not necessarily saying casual sex will cause a creepy monster to come around and follow you and eventually kill you by breaking your leg in a grotesque way. Spoiler alert, again, I'm so sorry for spoiling it and saying spoiler alert after the fact, even though I'm not going to stop doing it. So Karen is a representation of fear. However, because the fear happens to be a 5'2" white woman, it's unintentionally one of the most hilarious things that I've ever seen in my entire life, and this is why we gotta get into the trailer.
This is a long way from East Point.
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance.
So first things first, and I think it is very important that you notice this, but I'm going to set it up with a little bit of an introduction, a little side quest in order to get to the main quest. There's a movie called Nocturnal Animals. It is available on Netflix. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal, it stars Amy Adams. It's absolutely fantastic. Again, it's on Netflix. And in this movie, Amy Adams is existing in two timelines. One timeline where she's young and she's full of life and she looks like this. By the way, this is Amy Adams' mother. We'll get into that later. And in the future timeline, Amy Adams has given up on her childhood dreams and she's basically like a high-end businesswoman living an unfulfilled life, but her career is quite fulfilled and she is represented like this. Now, this is an element known as visual storytelling because Amy Adams is afraid when she's young that she's going to be like her mother. And this is represented to us, the idea of it, by the hue in her skin. She's much more full of life and way less pasty than she is in later years. And her mother is completely pasty to show us that Amy Adams over time became like her mother. Now, this is how a good film would use visual storytelling to do something that you might not notice, but the director actually thought a lot about in order to better communicate that story. Karen, right here, is super pasty white for the reason that they're trying to emphasize her super pasty whiteness. They went out of their way to make this woman up, to make her extra white, just to emphasize that. This would be an example of no subtlety whatsoever, and not carefully crafting the visual elements of your story in order to match the tone you're trying to get. Because over time, maybe Karen should have started off as more friendly, and then got more aggressive, and then that could have been shown on her face. But she's a racist right from the jump. And I absolutely love it, and I appreciate you guys coming back to the main quest off of that side quest with me.
Tell me about your new neighbors. They're black.
Whoa, Karen. Chick from Orange is the New Black. That was a little hardcore. Used a hard BL, a hard A, and a hard CK. I can't believe that you did that. I'm disgusted. Also, if you didn't believe me before, look at Karen compared to the other white woman who is the non-racist in this scene. Look at how pasty she is. Seriously. Also, rude. Completely rude. Totally against it.
Do you mind keeping it down? If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
Again, I'm sorry to keep pausing this trailer, but it's absolutely hilarious. Like, this is your horror villain. Somebody who comes up to you and says, hey, keep it down, we're in a restaurant, and if you don't comply, I'm gonna tell a manager. Now, the compliance thing, a little aggressive in the language, but overall, there are people like this in restaurants, especially in small towns. Like, there's very much a different notion of manners, and I've noticed this when I travel across the Midwest, and it's not necessarily a racial thing, but in this movie, definitely a racial thing. She's gonna get the manager on you. Karen is asking to see the manager, and this is a horror movie. Do you hear the music being played in the background of this horror movie, that slow piano. Like, this is serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor.
Her name is Karen Drexler, an iconic name in cinema that will live on across the history of film for generations to come. Although, I would have went with something a little bit more subtle, like Karen, I'm a mean white lady. That might have actually, you know, subtly snuck in who she was before.
You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
But I also find it funny that she's like, you should move your garbage cans back after they collect the trash, which is good advice. In a lot of places, you would get a ticket for that. And you might even get a ticket not just by your local sanitation department, but by the homeowners association. So Karen, with her evil walk away and being all evil and white and racist, and evil and white and racist, actually, decent advice. Just saying. I know I'm supposed to be scared now. This is a horror movie, but solid advice. Just saying.
Is she nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
She's nice?
She's nice.
When is white supremacy gonna end? All this niceness from white people, honestly, it's just making people of color's lives so hard. You know, I've really started to embrace my Hispanic heritage, Puerto Rico, long live it. And I have to say, one of my biggest problems, and I encounter it not frequently because I don't live in a particularly white neighborhood, but sometimes I encounter it, is white racists being not nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen?
Karen.
Again, the fact that the horror stinger emphasizes Karen is supposed to tell you that this is like an intimidating situation, but it really isn't. It's just not at all. But let's move on.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen.
Look, I don't know what horror movies this filmmaker watched prior to making movies, but microaggressions, really? She said slaving away in the kitchen, common expression. She also said, show me to the master bedroom at some point too. Really bad stuff. Definitely appropriate underscoring of this scene that's going on in this trailer. I'm terrified. The hair on my arms is actually standing up because she said, there she is. Maybe I have to bleep this out. Slaving away in the kitchen.
I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
So legitimately, when I watched this scene, I thought this kid right here was a white dude. But when they cut to the next frame, I guess you can see that this is a person of color. Maybe not the best casting. Also, very suspecting person, and then she panics. These Karens always calling the police on black people, just living their lives, man. Just living their lives. When were you gonna let them just live their lives? When?
My wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone, we didn't do anything!
Also, did we just get a day for night moment in the trailer? She called the cops on these kids. They were filming her. By the way, this would have went viral. Sean King would have raised money for them. Maybe that guy was actually Sean King, hence my confusion. But regardless, they would have raised money for them and they would have canceled Karen at the PTA or something or other. But the idea that they had them waiting there on their knees until nighttime, and this guy forgot his ID at home. By the way, don't forget your ID at home. It's actually really useful to have on you. I guess Karen helped out with that situation. Well, not really. She created the situation where you might need it. But also, there's 3 of them, so maybe we're in a new situation where the racism is being racist. Also, get ready for the twist, because even the filmmakers behind this ridiculous movie realized that a 5'2", 90-pound white woman in her 40s might not be the scariest villain for your horror movie.
You take care of him, and I will take care of her.
So what I love about this is Karen's like, I'm gonna take care of her, but I need you to take care of him. And of course, she's talking to her brother. And unsurprisingly, in the least plot twist that was ever plot twisted, her brother is a police officer.
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
Now, when I say that this is so uninteresting, so unclever, so uncreative, what I mean is, you could go down to like the Hack Writers Association writing racialized stories right now and just pick a random page on anybody's script and you will find an evil white police officer. That's just a fact. Like, go down there, go Google it, go Google Hack Writing Filmmaking Association 101. and just go sit down, grab a random page, even if it's on a computer, just stop right there, do a keyword search, and you will find it right there on the page. It's on every page. This is the hackiest thing humanly possible, but you know, that's how it goes.
She doesn't like black people.
We have a search warrant.
Well, I'm black.
Oh my god. This is like a Lifetime movie in terms of the acting. You want to take that again? I hope there's something else for the feature film if you're actually going to put this out in theaters where you expect people to see it. But Jesus Christ, that line reading alone makes this movie worth the price of admission.
Well, I'm black.
When you're being out-acted by a child actor, which by the way, child actors are notoriously terrible, you have a problem. And also, like, how is that a reasonable response to the girl telling you that her obviously racist mother or relative or whoever doesn't like black people? Obviously, that includes you. You are picking up your trash, which she earlier in the day kicked down on the floor because she doesn't like you. She's shown you, I don't know how many times at this point in the movie, that she doesn't like you based on the color of your skin, and you're like, to this kid who's like giving you a warning, this would be the harbinger in this situation. But what about me? Like that's the equivalent of that answer. And again, we gotta see that take one more time.
Well, I'm black.
I know, she doesn't like you either.
Look, I was trying to be subtle, but obviously you're an idiot. She doesn't like you either. I know that you're black. I have eyes, right? I can see. I'm not colorblind. I was giving you a warning, idiot. Adult woman who is an idiot and didn't understand what I was trying to imply. The kid's character has more subtlety than her. One more reading of that line.
Well, I'm black. Well, I'm black. Well, I'm black.
I'm also amused when they find the Confederate flag hidden amongst her possessions. In parts of this country, people fly the Confederate flag completely openly. It's not hidden at all, and oftentimes it's not associated with any type of racial context. I talked about this before multiple different times on this channel. There was a show called The Dukes of Hazzard, in a time period when there was like 4 television channels. This show was incredibly popular, specifically in the South. This is one of the reasons why the General Lee, the vehicle with the Confederate flag on it, is still a highly sought-after vehicle. So while as a no-good Northerner, I have no interest in the Confederate flag, and I completely understand people who are not at all interested in the Confederate flag because they view it as a symbol of racism, and that's why they would never fly it, you have to understand that a huge portion of the people that are flying it, the majority, don't consider themselves racist. And a more interesting discovery, if you wanted to make a call back to the Confederacy or draw some kind of a connection since you're throwing all subtlety out of the window, wouldn't be the discovery of the modern Confederate flag, but something that has to do with the original Confederate flag that was broadly flown by the Confederacy, or some type of personal familial connection with Confederate soldiers. Maybe a room with all this Confederate like war memorabilia or something like that, even though again, that is collected mostly by collectors who obviously would be on the northern side of the Civil War. It's just Southern Confederate stuff is so much more rare because they weren't as well organized and they didn't really have a lot of standard issue stuff. But again, totally lost all the subtlety. Maybe even throw in a Nazi thing in there. If you're just gonna not even try to make this movie clever at all, just find the Nazi room in the house. This is an escaped Nazi person. Pull a Boy season 2, even though that character was a Nazi in the comic book, so everybody chill out, and do something like that. Also, that character was a dude. Just saying.
What do we have here? We got a hammer. Everything looks like nails.
So I like how we have a little bit of dispute between the officers. This younger officer's talking to his commanding officer. He's like, I don't like the way that you planted evidence blatantly in front of me. Now, in the minds of the regressive, police never snitch on other police officers. But in reality, 90% of the complaints against officers for unethical things comes from other police officers. And the reason why is because a bunch of officers are Boy Scouts. They're dorks. So of course, they're rigid in following the rules, even within the police department. So having the conversation in the stairwell between these two officers all hidden like, and this officer not trying to go to a superior is absolutely goofy, but not as goofy as the response that when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I guess the police badge is the hammer in this analogy, and African Americans the nails. I honestly, I don't even know. Like, Just let's wrap the trailer.
Shut your mouth, boy.
Again, subtlety and this movie never met each other, never drove past each other on the highway.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
That's the closing line of a trailer of a movie that actually exists. This movie will actually be shown to people. This was edited together, it was shot by a director, it was written down on paper, and that is the closing line of the trailer. Comply. Seriously, bad things happen to people who don't comply. That's the level that we're at. You see, this is why I'm not against this trend, because while you will get movies that get broad praise like Jordan Peele's Get Out, and I actually like that movie for the reasons I explained earlier, what you're also going to get is the cheap knockoffs and the crap like this. And when you see visual representations of fears grown adults have, and those fears are ridiculous, you realize that maybe some of the claims of these grown adults that consider themselves activists are also ridiculous. So overall, the Karen trailer, 10 out of 10, definitely gonna go see it. I might even see it twice. Can't wait to tell my girlfriend that the first movie we're gonna go to when movies are open is this movie. Sorry, Black Widow, they just got my money. Now that's all I really have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's a lighter video. I actually was considering doing way more heavy stories, but then I thought this was important in that this is not at all important.
New horror movie tells the story of Karen, a racist white woman who terrifies a black family after they move into her neighborhood. Because you know the one conversation that society as a whole has neglected in recent years? How racist white people are. Literally no one ever talks about it.
Tell me about your new neighbors. They're black. Do you mind keeping it down?
Apparently after committing a series of microaggressions against the black couple, Karen ends up trying to kill them.
We are living next door to a racist.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Actor Taryn Manning, who plays the role of Karen, declared that she felt a social responsibility to play the villain to effect change around the globe. What's been going on is devastating. It's time for change and for me to be part of the bigger picture. Really? You see, what I think's more devastating than some fictional stereotype based on a meme is 6 straight months of violent BLM rioting that left dozens of people dead, small businesses reduced to ash, and $2 billion in damages.
Largely peaceful demonstrations.
Is a 32% spike in homicides in major cities like New York, Dallas, and Chicago over the last year. Is one single weekend of Juneteenth mass shootings across 7 states that left multiple people dead and dozens injured. Is a white woman in New Jersey who joined the Juneteenth celebration being viciously beaten by a mob. Is a gunman in Georgia and Alabama who was involved in 3 separate shootings before telling police he deliberately sought to hunt down white men. Is a Puerto Rican mother of 2 in Chicago being dragged out of her vehicle and executed on the street. Apparently, now it's racist to identify the perpetrators of violent crime. But let's just say Yasmin Perez wasn't murdered by a Karen. Turns out none of this was carried out by some racist white woman called Karen. Well, imagine my shock. Imagine my surprise that the hashtag #StopAsianHate campaign suddenly went quiet when all the perpetrators of the violent crime against Asians were revealed. You see, movies like Karen are required to amplify the narrative that white people represent the biggest violent threat in America, because real life kind of suggests that the opposite is true. The reality is such a 180 to that portrayed in the Karen movie that fact-checking organisations like the Poynter Institute are now demanding that local news stations drastically reduce their coverage of local crime stories. Why? Because reporting on them fuels systemic racism. So reporting on the true nature and identity of the perpetrators of violent crime might make people more racist. Gee, I wonder why that could be.
They're black.
We didn't do anything!
So I guess better to just bury the truth or ignore it altogether and pretend it doesn't exist. If Black Lives Matter, why are you telling news organisations to ignore violent crime, the victims of which are predominantly black? Who's the racist now? What's funny is that part of the agenda behind this Karen movie was to rile up white conservatives. Yet it's only succeeded in angering leftists and BLM supporters, its intended audience. Oof, look at that ratio. Because thanks to the Biden administration and the media, They're all living under this delusion that violent white supremacists are running amok everywhere.
The top domestic violent extremist threat comes from the white race.
So now they're all having anxiety attacks on social media over this Karen film.
They made a movie about what black people that live next to racists have to actually endure every day for entertainment. They love profiting off black trauma. They really want us to watch more black trauma porn.
Yeah. They want you to watch it on a movie screen because it's not happening on any scale in reality. It's less art imitates life and more art imitates shite. Hollywood producers are all clamoring to mimic Jordan Peele's Get Out movie. Producers keep trying to bait audience with this fake narrative that violent white supremacists are running around everywhere killing black people. But if you actually tallied a list of names of criminals responsible for rising violent crime and hate crime in America, just a hunch, but my bet is that Karen is not going to appear very high on that list.
They're black.
Isn't it interesting that stereotypes are the worst thing you could possibly dare think about portraying in a Hollywood movie? Except for white people stereotypes, then it's literally open season.
She doesn't like black people.
I guess having white privilege means you're the only ethnicity that the entertainment industry can ruthlessly and consistently belittle, denigrate, demonize, and mock. So privileged.
A movie is coming out, and I promise you guys watching at home, this is not a parody. This is a true movie that is coming out on BET. We're actually going to watch the full trailer because it's incredible and it deserves to be played in its entirety. It's called Karen.
Karen?
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance.
Tell me about your new neighbors.
They're black.
Do you mind keeping it down?
If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor. You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
Is she nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen, okay, enjoy yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen. I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone. We didn't do anything.
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood? Next thing you know, we have criminals. You take care of him, and I will take care of her.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
She doesn't like black people.
We have a search warrant.
Well, I'm black.
I know, she doesn't like you either.
I want to sell the house.
What'd I do? You can't tell me, huh?
We are living next door to a racist. You went in her house?
You wouldn't want your wife to know our little secret, right?
That was not standard police procedure back there.
What do we have here?
Well, you got a hammer. Everything looks like nails.
You people are very angry.
Shut your mouth, boy.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
So I just want to be very clear because I know people are watching that going, that looks like an Amy Poehler Saturday Night Live skit. And it's supposed to be funny. No, this is actually a true horror film that is coming out. This is not a joke in any way, shape, or form. In fact, Taryn Manning herself confirmed that. And I just want to actually watch a clip of her confirming this in an interview that she's the one who's playing the actress and why she believes this film is really important.
After seeing how people have rightfully vilified these Karens, to step into that role is a pretty bold move on your part.
Yes, I'm taking on this role. I love the material. First and foremost, it's about the writing, and then I adore Coke, and I think that he really cares, and he's ready for change. It felt like a social responsibility. I mean, even though I'm playing the opposing side, if I have to, sort of play the villain and do all that to help make change on the globe, I was more than willing to step into the role.
So this is a socially responsible film. I honestly don't even know where to start, so I'm just going to let you guys talk at me.
I started off for the love of God. This is not real life. I stay around number of white people, and no white woman has come to my house and got mad at me for living in the community. Nobody cares. I get sick
of them painting black people as these victims. We either slaves in movies or we somehow victim to white people worried about where we live in. It kills me. It boils my blood that in 2021, they're acting like this stuff still persists. I can't find a white person that cares who's living next door, and just because they're black, they're gonna call the police, and now the police are involved and they're harassing black people. Where is this happening at in America?
So what's actually happening is a film like this is actually harassing white people, right? So this is a blatantly racist film, right?
Mm-hmm.
This would be akin to white people making a film called Shanika and letting it define every stereotype of what it means to be a black person, right? Like, you know, bumping music loud, going down the street. I mean, this is painfully racist. And not even that, but they're incorporating this idea that being white is violence, right? That like being white is a form of violence, and they're taking it to that next step, despite all evidence to the contrary. Like if you really wanted to look at shootings, the racial disparity in terms of shootings, if you wanted to, like say, I'm looking at these statistics and I want to draw some conclusions, those conclusions wouldn't be right, but the conclusion would be from actual statistics that black people are more violent towards white people, but they ignore all of that because what's culturally relevant right now is pretending it's the other way around.
Excuse me, police, black people just moved into my neighborhood. What am I supposed to do?
You've never done that?
I mean, that's all white people do, right? You know,
oh my God!
Right? Yeah. I had to call the police before I came on the show to call it on you.
Coat, yeah.
You know? Yeah. I have my Confederate lotion dispenser that's over here too. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. When the left can't find real racism, they create racism out of nothing.
Exactly.
If they had real stories to tell, if they had real things to talk about, they wouldn't have to create this stupid movie with Hollywood actresses. They could actually say something that is culturally relevant and going on, but no, they have to create lies to push their narrative.
Well, this seems to me to date back to that Jordan Peele movie, Get Out. Do you guys remember? Yeah. I actually kind of liked that movie, I should say at the outset, but it inaugurated this genre, right? Social horror. And there's a show on Amazon right now called Them, which is almost as bad as Karen. I mean, it's 1 degree away. And this is the sort of thing that you would do if you had a government that wanted to create propaganda to stoke a race war, right? This is what, if you were just sitting in your ivory tower and thinking, how am I going to drive Americans at one another's throats so that, once again, we can federalize the police force and enforce wokeness at the national level, right? This is what you would make. You would make this stuff because, as you say, of course, like, all their ideas are lies. They have to invent ways to try to, like, hypnotize you into believing them. And this is, like, Pravda 101. It's just classic.
What does this do? This tells black people moving into neighborhoods that are maybe more white that, oh, you can't move into this neighborhood because you're going to be assaulted or someone's going to be racist towards you. It's like it's creating segregation itself because it tells black people that they can't move into these neighborhoods. Because if you do, you're going to be ostracized by the other people. It's a horrible message to send to people.
And to Candace's point, I mean, let's keep it real. Let's make one called Tyrone. Or Latrell or somebody. And then they doing drive-bys every day and walking around with their pants sagging and selling drugs. I mean, if you want to put these stereotypes, let's do it on both sides. But it's crazy that they're doing this because it does create this in young people. I mean, when I was growing up, I believed that white people hated me. I did. And this is reinforcing that stuff. So when you make money or you grow up and get out of the hood and you go live in a nice neighborhood that happen to be white people live in it, you're gonna perceive them like this. You're gonna think that your neighbors, even though they just wave at you and say hi, you're gonna think that they're out to get you. And it creates this residual effect of people hating each other and projecting racism on each other when it's not even happening.
That's exactly right. And then it also makes it impossible for people to have normal correspondences without racializing the correspondence in their own head. Like everybody goes through things that are just not fun. Like, you get cut off when you're driving and somebody flips you the finger. Well, now if you're a black person and that happens between a white, but you and a white person, you go, oh, that's because I'm black. And it's like, no, that's because it happens to everyone. I mean, my husband had this story where he was talking to one of his friends who said, he's mixed and he, looks like he's half black, half white, because that's what he is. And he said, well, as a black person, there's been so many times where I've been at a club or stepped outside and someone tried to hand me the keys as if I was the valet. And my husband said back to him, do you know that also happens to me? Like, it's so like you're almost training people to see racism where it's not. We have bad correspondences because we're human beings. And you're not going to like every person. It's not going to be a good correspondence. But now you're training people to believe that every time you have a correspondence with a white person, it's because they're being a Karen, right? Every bad correspondence with the black person is because they're being a Shaniqua. This is literally racism, and it's being taught, and it is a propagandist effort.
I did pull up the CNN article about the Karen trailer, and it's actually getting flack because people are claiming they're just ripping off Get Out.
No, the difference is Get Out was a good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to make any. I haven't seen obviously Karen yet. The trailer doesn't look very good, but Get Out is a good movie about the fears of assimilation. Right? It's the fear that when you assimilate into a culture, you lose your soul. So that, and it made fun of white liberals, which I got a kick out of. Specifically, right? We voted for Obama, but they're the evil people.
They're the evil people.
Yeah, but it actually, I thought it was a kind of original movie. I got a kick out of it. This, at least from the trailer, I can't judge the movie, just looks like it's falling into the myth of the evil Karen.
Michael, I've seen the trailer, and you're wrong. This will be the Citizen Kane of our generation.
Oh my god!
Did you see the
Citizen Karen? Citizen Karen.
Citizen Karen.
I love it.
Did you see? Did you show the photo of this?
Yeah,
though?
I did.
Look at this. Oh, dude, it's so silly. Have you seen The Hunt?
You know, I wanted to, but I thought didn't it get pulled? I thought
they brought it back. They ended up publishing it.
They did publish.
I thought it was great.
It was good.
I loved the idea. The idea was
well.
terrific.
So initially, The Hunt, the trailer was liberals kidnapping conservatives and then hunting them.
Yeah.
And so my initial reaction was like, this is not the time to be fanning the flames of this stuff. Even Donald Trump was against it.
Yeah.
I changed my mind later on when I was like, you know, I shouldn't be against artful depictions and I shouldn't play that game about, you know, criticizing a movie I haven't seen. And then it turns out when I watched the movie, it was actually really good.
Yeah, well, because I don't think it's advocating that the liberals go out and kidnap.
They're the bad guys.
They're the bad guys, right?
So it's actually like you've got two different factions in this movie: snooty liberal elites who are just, they hate these right-wing conspiracy theorists so much they want to kill them.
Yeah.
And then you have just dumb right-wing conspiracy theorists where you're kind of annoyed by them believing stupid things, but they're not bad people. They're doofy people.
This is what's actually giving me hope. You know, you say that Steve Bannon says we're winning, and you know, I'll believe it when I see it. I've been burned too many times, folks. But the thing that does give me hope, when these people of all different colors, parents of all different shapes and sizes all around the country, show up to yell about critical race theory. I see your point. I think it's a fair one that we shouldn't be arguing with their language, and that's a problem. Sure, and we can try to fix that. But the very fact that these people are showing up, these ordinary Americans, and then snooty elites, radical elites, make fun of them, call them, you might say deplorable, irredeemable, bitter clinger, or what, and you are further alienating the common sense American people from this ruling class that absolutely despises them. That is, in real time, a win for conservatives.
Yes. I think Bannon's point is when these children come back from school on day one and mom says, "What did you learn in school?" That you're evil.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, come again. Yeah.
So I'm interested though. In the same. I do want to talk about the Loudon stuff, but we'll get to that in a bit. In terms of movies like this Karen one, considering how like really over the top the trailer is, I'm wondering if that'll have a similar effect if people start seeing movies like this where it display. I mean, this is it. This is culture, right? In the movie The Hunt, the liberal elites are the bad guys. I'm gonna, a spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it. You care if I spoil it for you?
Spoil it.
The woman who's leading the liberals is kidnapping people because they were spreading conspiracy theories about her online, and her friends decided to help her out. It turns out one of the women who was kidnapped, I think she was like former military, and it was the wrong name. So what it turns out is this innocent woman was being harassed and they were trying to kill her, and she had nothing to do with their politics. And I thought that was a really interesting message based on what we're seeing in the political landscape. Regular people who don't care, who don't want to be involved, are being forced into it and accused of being racist and being monsters, and now are being forced to fight for their lives.
Yeah.
So when I see something like this Karen movie, a lot of people have already said Karen is a racial slur and you shouldn't say it. I've had people email me like, Tim, don't use that word.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it literally is a racial. I'll say it.
Yeah,
but it is a racial slur.
It references specifically like
white chicks.
Yeah, like
certain
white
age. Yeah,
and a
sort of ageist,
a
too.
Becky is a young Karen.
Yeah,
a Becky. That's what they've been saying. And so I wonder though, how many women named Karen had no issues in politics, didn't care, and then all of a sudden started feeling bad because people were insulting them based on their name.
My friend's daughter's name is Isis.
Oh man,
she was named before the action in the Middle East.
That's
well. So
yeah.
there was a meme of there was a meme of a mom.
Yeah.
And it was like a strict mom meme. I can't remember exactly what it was. And it was a woman like sitting down in a photo that people used in these old school memes with like the sunburst behind it. And it would say like, you know, makes you clean your room and then grounds you or something like that. And the woman in the photo was like, I'm not like that at all. I'm like a nice person. And people are using this image of me to represent something nasty. I have to wonder if Hollywood keeps making movies that insult regular Americans simply because their name is Karen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they keep making Karen movies. I'm saying if they do things like this that insult and deride people, is this the kind of thing that's going to make someone go, I don't feel good. Well, you're making me feel bad. I reject you.
I hope that is the case, because it really it pains me to hear these stories that you're mentioning of, someone who says, well, I'm not like that. I'm not one of them. I'm one of the good Karens or whatever. I'm the good ISIS. But you have to come to the realization, if you are in any way conservative, and by the way, it's not even on the racial politics if you're just white. If you're black, but you go along with the conservative point of view, you are considered just as bad, if not worse. Same thing if you're Hispanic. I guess because you're a traitor.
It's the apostates that are a bigger threat.
Yeah. And I think what all these people need to recognize is the radical left hates you. You can't charm your way out of it. You can't reason your way out of it. I know there's been a lot of talk now on the internet about whether or not one should engage in debates. And there was sort of Crowder got ambushed by some libs or something. And there was all of this debate me coward and all this kind of stuff. I don't feel any compunction about turning down a debate with someone who hates me. Because what is the point of that debate? If I feel something productive can come out of that, I'll do it. But I don't feel any reason.
Well, this is really fascinating, especially in terms of the Crowder stuff, because Ethan Klein is not a political individual.
Yeah,
he was making comments about Steven Crowder. I don't know how it started. Do you guys know how it started, or what the issue was?
Oh, how?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, so Ethan was saying that you don't need to do any of your own research. You just trust the CDC. Whatever they say, you don't even have to do any homework. And his wife is just like, And I was like, what? They have like millions of people.
And Crowder responded, or what?
Yeah, he had issues with that. He's like, why would you tell people to not do their own homework? That doesn't make sense.
That's actually against I think that might be against YouTube's rules.
Interesting.
To say not to question anything.
Well, no, that's
just to tell people how to think about it.
You need to tell. YouTube's rules are that you can't discourage people from seeking the expert medical opinions.
Oh, interesting.
So the CDC YouTube might be like, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, you can blindly follow them, but nobody.
Yeah.
No, but I think like YouTube says you can't discourage people from talking to medical experts for advice and saying you don't have to do anything, just follow the CDC. Those aren't your doctors.
Right.
So I wonder. Anyway,
you should have debated Ethan.
Well, Ethan isn't a political figure. He's a drama grifter. Like his whole thing is like pop
I had never heard
comedy.
of him. I had even the other guy I hadn't seen.
He's
really.
interesting because they're kind of under the radar, but they're hugely popular. They just weren't like ever front and center mainstream. They kind of came up on quieter.
They get like millions of views on their podcast.
Massive shows.
So the issue though is, this is why I would say you got to be careful about who you do debate. Like we're gonna have Vosh back on.
Okay.
You're familiar with him. He's a leftist YouTube personality.
I've heard of him. I haven't seen his stuff, but I have heard he's a socialist, or he's
I believe he's a socialist.
Okay.
He's a lefty gamer, and then we're also planning on having on a few other leftist personalities, people who actually I think want to engage in the robust challenge of a good debate. Like I think Vosh loved it because he got a bunch of clips where they said I was dumb, and of course we got clips where they were like he's dumb. But I think we had a lot. It was like 4 hours.
Yeah.
But there are some people like the guy who ambushed Steven Crowder. This guy's a con man.
Okay.
This guy's whole shtick is to generate drama. And so the issue is Steven Crowder wants to engage in a legitimate conversation with Ethan Klein.
Yeah.
Ethan Klein being a drama channel.
Yeah.
Just turn the camera off, runs away, and then says, "Here you go. Here's drama." Crowder walked right into that one. I think Crowder was correct to say, "Hey, Ethan, let's talk."
Yeah.
And then when he released the full audio, you actually see they were being very nice to each other and they were like talking about family. And then Ethan goes like, "Ha!" and
I gotcha.
Ambushes Crowder with a guy who's known for not getting a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
And for trying as hard as possible to get bigger channels to debate him so he can get views. So Crowder's like, "I have no obligation to give you the time of day. You've been blacklisted by so many other channels. They refuse to talk to you. And I'll tell you this. Behind the scenes, a bunch of podcast networks have already blacklisted this guy. I'm not saying his name on purpose.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't. This is what he tries to do. He tries to use drama to get attention. Oh no. He's been blacklisted by a bunch of very big podcasts, even some more lefty ones, because he's viewed as a drama baiter.
Yeah.
Who tries to get attention by just causing fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the right opens themselves up to these kinds of attacks when they go into the sort of the free marketplace of ideas must always prevail, and we must always debate everything with everybody, and we can never cancel or ostracize anybody. And I think That's not true. That's never been true. I not only do I have no obligation to engage with somebody who's just a shyster or some kind of jerk, you know, there's no it's actually counterproductive to do that. No one will learn anything. No honesty will be exchanged.
This is why I say, from this point forward, I think it should be clear to everybody, Ethan Klein should be off limits for any legitimate political podcast. Of course, the left will probably just engage with him because they're going to be like, hey, it's an opportunity to get views, and they like what he did. But for anybody who is moderate, anti-woke, or wants to have a legitimate conversation, so this would be like intellectual dark web types as well as any other legitimate news outlet, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Not with somebody who's willing to poison the political discourse for personal gain.
Well, you think about how dumb most debates are. It's really sad because not that long ago, you go back like 30 years, there were pretty popular debates that would air on TV or certain areas.
Burroughs was pretty well known.
Yeah, or you think Firing Line or those kind of shows. And now they're just really dumb, and it's just like two heads screaming at each other for 5 minutes on cable TV or something.
Right.
And I just think it's so degrading. There's a political rule that I learned years ago, and I think I violated it a couple times at my own peril. Never wrestle with a pig. If you wrestle with a pig, you will both get dirty, but the pig will like it.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.